Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. She's finally uploading at like a semi-normal time. Today I thought the boys might be a little bit left out because I've just posted this massive, like, how many gift ideas was it, like 30 plus I think, gift idea affordable gift guide for the ladies. So I thought today, why not do one for the lads? But this is gonna be like I want to say affordable, but because the boys are a bit more difficult to buy for. So this is going to be like I want to say affordable, but because the boys are a bit more difficult to buy for, I could only actually get like a list of 20 comprehensive gifts. So what we'll say is we'll put their budget up by a tenner and then they can't complain that way, can they? Yeah, this might be a little bit less affordable than like the last video. There's definitely still really affordable items in here. It's just there's some items that are pushing the top end of our budget. So yeah, we'll say that this one is for like the boyfriends, the brothers, maybe the dads, if you've got like, you know, to be fair, no, there's some items on this list that will definitely be suitable for the dads. If you haven't watched my previous video on like a gift giving guide for her, then please do check that out. Let's just get right to it. So number one on the list that I've put here is decorative pillows. Now, I don't mean decorative like, you know, they've got to be fluffy and have like hearts all over them. I mean decorative, like specifically decorative pillows for men. When I think of this, I always tend to think of like the basketball pillows, also like smiley face pillows. I feel like this is going to be a very strong theme with like gift ideas for men, for me anyway, is going to be like these smiley faces and things like that. You can find like, I don't know, like a shoe like sort of pillow, or just kind of like whatever they're into. Even if they're like a sneakerhead, you could get them like a decorative shoe pillow, because you're not going to fork out like 200 quid to get them a pair of shoes, like, you know, if they've got a very particular style. In terms of this, I would have a look on Etsy, of course. I think I'm going to be mentioning Etsy a lot in this video because Etsy are just great in general for all these gifts. I mean, I literally mentioned Etsy I think on every single gift pretty much on my last video. Cotton On also, I think that is the place where I first saw like the basketball pillow trend and like the smiley face pillow trend. So number two, we've got a tufted rug. I know what you're going to be thinking, tufted rugs are hella expensive, and they definitely can be if you're getting like a big proper size like kind of tufted rug. I'm thinking more of like a small tufted rug that you could kind of use as like wall decor. Jump onto Etsy and there's going to be like loads and loads and loads of people that are doing tufted rugs now. I mean, for a good little bit of time I was doing some tufted bits and bobs, and I think I'm going to get back into it. Probably not in time for Christmas if any of you are wanting to buy any tufted rugs for Christmas, but there's loads and loads and loads of sellers on Etsy that do this. So have a look on House of Block, like the, I don't know if you guys know, but like the 8-ball like the Stussy rug that they were doing for quite a bit. House of Block have got a version of that for way cheaper, so there you go. Next up, old reliable. This could be for your granddad, this could be for your long lost cousin, for your brother, for your boyfriend, for your dad, for whoever. An art print. I think the best place to go for art prints is definitely Etsy, just because there's so many small businesses that just have like their own cool style of print. Definitely suggest looking at like personalized prints and posters. So for Christmas 2 years ago, or I think for his birthday like 2 years ago, I bought my boyfriend this like little Simpsons character, like personalized Simpsons character as like a DJ, because he's into his DJing, and I don't know why I went for the Simpsons. I mean, I think everyone just likes the Simpsons, right? So yeah, anyway, it was like £20 I think for an A4 size, and you send over a picture to them. This was on Etsy, by the way. We made him look like it was him but as a Simpsons character but playing on the decks. Like it's sick. And then obviously you got him a frame to go with that, and then you've got like this really, really special gift for really not a lot of money, like at all. Just as a note, if the person that you're buying for is also into DJing, I've also bought quite a few like posters and bits for people from Boiler Room of like DJ prints, and they're really cool. I'm sure I'm throwing pictures up on the screen now, but again, I bought some for my boyfriend and I bought some for my best friend like a few years ago. Honestly, just go on Etsy and have fun. Literally my favorite thing to do is just going on Etsy, typing things like that in, and just endlessly scrolling, looking at all these amazing like people that do their own little prints. So we're on to number 4, and some of these will be similar to like my last video, because as I said in the last video, although that was a gift giving guide for her, it doesn't necessarily matter. A film camera or a disposable camera, again, as mentioned in the last video, you can definitely have a little browse on eBay and Depop for these. If you're really not sure, to be honest, with film cameras, like, all the camera people are going to come at me if I say they're all very similar, but if it's just kind of that like film camera effect that you're going for, if the person that you're buying for isn't necessarily like a photography geek, definitely just ask the seller, like, just what's like a cheaper option that's just going to give me that effect. Just as a side note with this one, if you could get your person some film, if you are going to get a film camera, and the batteries that they need for that camera, please definitely do that, because it's one of them things where it can cost a little bit more. Like, I think a roll of film can be like 12-14 quid. It's just one of them things that like you just can't be asked to go and buy, can you? Like, you just, I don't know. So it would be cool if you could kind of get them the film, the batteries, and then they could even use it on Christmas Day when they open their gift. Apologise if I'm like slightly changing angles ever so often. The sun keeps, it's that time where it's like 2 p.m. and the sun is already setting. So I've got like half my ring light on and I'm moving about every 2 minutes. Again, if you're really not sure about what film camera to get, or you know, you just maybe don't have the budget for that, definitely look at disposable cameras. They can be a lot cheaper. Next up is a bit of a random one, but I do think that most guys would enjoy something like this. It's Lego. Now, I don't think the person that you're buying for has to necessarily be into Lego to enjoy like a Lego type gift. Me personally, the one that stands out in my brain is that Lego Adidas Superstar shoe. These can be pricey. We said that we're going to give them an extra tenner, and this is about £90 on the Lego website, but do sell these cheaper in B&M. You can be lucky and get your hands on these in B&M. Also see them on eBay as well, so you could definitely have a look on eBay, or you could have a look on Amazon. I'm not sure if Amazon even do them, but you can definitely have a browse. I think it's such a cool gift, and I think I mentioned this in the last video, but the older we get, the less we get gifts that are kind of like something for us to do on Christmas Day, or not even on Christmas Day, but like just in general. So following on from that very unique gift, we have a very not unique gift, we have a very basic gift, but a basic gift I think always works no matter who you're buying for. Candles. We're gonna spice this one up, because I spiced this one up for the ladies. So for the ladies, I said candle plus like a little matchstick holder and matchsticks, right? Personally, a bloke, in my opinion, would prefer like a cool lighter. Again, you can get candles from pretty much anywhere. I think B&M is just the best place to go for candles. Home Bargains, Lidl, Aldi. You could definitely also invest in like a non-scented candle, but one that is in like a cool sort of shape. So Etsy is really good for this. Again, loads of small businesses that have their own candles and things. I've also seen eBay and Amazon have, why do I always say Amazon like that? Amazon have like some cool shaped candles as well, again with the sneaker, but I did see like a shoe shaped candle. Carhartt have some like shaped candles, but I'd have to check on the price, so do not hold me to it if the price is like out of this world. Lighters, again, I would just have a browse on Etsy, or I would just type in what you're like looking for. I'd just type in like cool lighter on like Google. So moving on to yet another basic one, but I did say some of these are going to be more basic and more affordable. Aftershave. Who does not need perfume, aftershave? It's something we use pretty much every single day. I think it's just one of them gifts that is just good as like a top up. Like if you know their favorite aftershave and it's within your budget, a lot of men's aftershave does tend to be like cheaper. Like I know something like Versace Blue Jeans is like cheaper. At the moment, I've been seeing that there's loads of cute little like gift sets. I forgot to mention this in my last video for the gift guide for her as well, but I've seen that the fragrance shop or perfume shop, one of them, it's like, is it the same thing? I'm like bugging. Is that the same thing? But yeah, I've seen that they're doing like these little like gift sets of like free fragrances. I don't know if it's just the Versace like bundles. I don't know if it's other scents, but if you could get someone like a little like gift set of like 3 minis. I think that's also such a good shout. I bought this absolutely gigantic donut from the Polish stall at like the market today, and I've not even hit the jam yet. That's how big this is. Look at what I've done to it, and I've not even hit the jam. So next up, number 8 is, again, a pretty simple one. I think you could go really cool with this one, and it's jewelry. But for this, I would definitely say look into like cooler, like more unique pieces. So again, I'll use an example of something that I've got for my boyfriend a couple years ago, and it was this like smiley face necklace that like he has to this day, about £35. Well, I'll say only. For a necklace that might seem like a lot, but obviously it's like anti-tarnish, like, you know, waterproof, all that sort of good stuff. I think something like that, it was like a wavy little smiley face. I'll try to find it. I was really trying to find the website before I started filming this video, just so I could reference it here, and I can't find the website for the life of me. So yeah, unfortunately I can't find that exact website, but if you do just type in like smiley face necklace on Google like I did, something will come up and you'll be able to find something for your budget. Lord and Saviour Etsy, you'll be able to find so much good stuff on Etsy. They have a look into necklaces and definitely bracelets, because I think rings can be a little bit more difficult to buy just because you'd have to have their ring size. Always have a go at buying a ring, and then they can always get the like the size altered. I don't know how much ring alteration would cost. Is that even like the name? Never gone to get a ring altered, like size adjusted or whatever. Kind of just firmed it. Like if they've been too small, I've just put them like, I was about to swear at you then. I've just always put them like at the top of my fingers. So at number 9, I've got written down here is a cool lamp. Now I had this on the previous video as well, like the gift guide, and this is pretty much similar, like gonna be the same thing. A cool lamp is like such an underrated gift. I don't know why lamps make such like an impressionable gift. Is that the word? Impressionable is probably not the right word, but like a lamp feels like a very official, like very like, oh, like they've pushed the boat out, like gift, when lamps don't have to be like that expensive whatsoever. Habitat, Argos, whatever you want to call it, they're really good for lamps. You've got Dunelm that are really good for lamps. Debenham, surprisingly, since the last video that I filmed, I've seen so many cool lamps on Debenham. Also IKEA, obviously IKEA's got some bangers. If you can hear any kids screaming in the background, I live very close to like a million different schools, and I think the primary school kids are just finishing on some sort of break or they're having PE in like the 6-degree weather. Good luck to them. Number 10, a dressing gown. You know I mentioned it in the last video. You know I'm gonna have to mention it again in this video. A gown is just such an easy gift. A dressing gown you could literally buy from anywhere. No one can say that they wouldn't use a dressing gown, because they will use a dressing gown, especially at this time of year. If they don't already own a dressing gown, or if they don't already use a dressing gown, they will. It's almost a necessity, I would say. Again, you could also get them like the big hoodies. Again, I don't know the price of actual hoodies, but I'll mention this site that I mentioned in my last video, and it's online home shop and discounted sort of dressing gowns. They do discounted like fake hoodies. You can literally get an hoodie or a dressing gown from there for between like 11, 12 to maybe like £20. The markets and their like clothing lines like F&F to all that have really good like cozy dressing gowns. Rolling off really nicely from that one. Again, this could be like a little 2-in-1. I've got slippers written down, and again, if the guy that you're buying for does not already wear slippers, they will wear slippers once you get them slippers. It's like a natural event that happens in everyone's lives at some point. We go from being shouted at for not wearing slippers, told that we're gonna get ill from like the cold hard floors like in the morning, to being the person that has to put their slippers on as soon as they come into the house. Trust me, it happens. Even if the person that you're buying for doesn't necessarily wear slippers now, or they already have like a pair of slippers or something, I do think it's always a good idea to like freshen up a pair of slippers for someone. Like if they've had a pair of slippers, like just, I don't know, boring black or blue, whatever pair of slippers, it'd be a good time to like refresh those slippers. Because listen, I use and abuse my slippers, yeah, and I would say that I'm quite like a clean person. Sitting down in slippers, I use and abuse for like a good month or 2 before I'm like, right, they need dashing in the washing machine. And if I'm the way I am, I do think how are some of these men that don't even do some of their own laundry gonna be? Do you know what I mean? We're in a big stereotype out here, and I'm very sorry to all the lads watching this that are like, girl, you need to sort your fucking stinky feet out, because I actually put my slippers into the wash every 2 weeks, not every month or two like you just say in your dirty cat. I'll take that on the chin, that's absolutely fine. But I do question how often people like put their dressing gowns and slippers into the wash, so please do tell me in the comments below. Like I said in my previous video, I do think everyone needs a good pair or two of slippers that they can change into whilst the other ones are in the wash. And with slippers, it's super easy these days, like all your big supermarkets, eBay, Primark, anywhere like that has got slippers, B&M as well. But I would also suggest like searching stuff in on Etsy, on Amazon. I would definitely suggest, again, the smiley face theme for some reason. For the ladies too, because I'm literally staring down at my smiley face slippers. If you need any proof, there they are, and they have been washed, freshly washed a couple days ago. Yeah, I just do think for some reason that the smiley face themed like slippers that exploded everywhere recently, or like the checkerboard slippers, I think they're such a good shout to get for slippers for a guy. I don't know why, I don't know, they just seem to love the smiley faces, the checkerboards, all little funky things like that. Number 12, this one might be a bit more of an expensive one, but I do have a website that allows me to say that this is under £50, be a neon light. So in terms of this, I actually found this place when I went to Birmingham on a trip a couple years ago, and it's called Drift Room. At the time they were about 30 odd quid. Obviously with, you know, the cost of living and everything going up in the past couple of years at such an extreme rate, I think these are now about £45. But I would say that for a neon light, that is pretty decent. I think it's just one of them like kind of captivating gift. Okay, so we are on to number 13 now. Unlucky, or I would say very lucky, because it's one of my favorite gifts I mentioned in the last video as well, and it is a hot chocolate set and a little mug for them as well. I'm gonna make this massive point. Wittard's hot chocolate. That's it. That's her. That's the whole story. Unbelievable. Like, they are definitely a little bit more expensive for hot chocolate. I mean, listen, if I had like the money in my bank, I would be buying this hot chocolate just on like an average day. For a gift, I think this is just such a grand idea. They look posh, they taste posh, they are bloody posh. You're bloody paying for it as well. Obviously, like mentioned, get a mug. If you splash a little bit more on the hot chocolate, you can definitely get a cheaper mug. B&M, Primark, literally anywhere you can get a mug these days. I will say Typo or Cotton On have some really nice ones. Again, they've got like smiley face ones, they've got checkerboard sort of ones. Definitely have a look there. B&M also, as a shout out, if you do want to keep the hot chocolate side of things cheaper, if this is just kind of like a stocking filler that you're after, or just, I don't know, maybe a little cheaper gift to go alongside a more expensive gift, or however, whatever your budget is, I would definitely say to have a look at B&M, because I have spotted that they have got some really cool hot chocolate selection. Okay, next up is a graphic t-shirt, shirt. If you can get away with the price, maybe hoodie, or the person that you're buying for, and you know that they're kind of like into graphic tees, graphic hoodies, graphic shirts. I think a lot of guys that are like millennial and Gen Z would appreciate a graphic tee. So I also think that like, even if that person isn't like, you don't really see them wear like graphic tees or hoodies or whatever, but you're kind of like a fashionable person yourself, I think people would definitely appreciate like a fashion gift from someone that's a fashionable person. I definitely think getting like an oversized graphic t-shirt for a guy is just always such a good gift. I've got quite a few websites for this. Obviously ASOS is a really good website. Look on Vinted, and Vinted you can filter by like the condition of the item being like new with tags or new without tags. ASOS and Cluj is such a good brand for any sort of graphic printed t-shirt. Then I really like this brand called 3 Love Plug. I think that's how you say it, but they've got really cool shirts and t-shirts. I'm actually thinking of getting one for myself, maybe with one of my paydays. I've got a site called Consortium. I don't know how to say that. I don't really quite know what it means, but yeah, they've got some cool like printed tees on there as well. Bad Monday as well is a cool like brand or like website that you can get cool printed t-shirts on. Size is always a good one. I would definitely suggest like looking at skater brands for this sort of thing. I also would suggest looking at Everpress. Everpress, I think, from what I gather, is like a site where small kind of designers have like their own designs printed by Everpress onto t-shirts. So for the next one, we've got a 2-in-1, and it will be a scarf or a beanie or just any kind of like hat. But I think maybe for the Christmas season, I think it's a good idea to get like a beanie. If you're buying for your dad, you're obviously, you know, not gonna like look for like a really, I don't know, unless your dad is really hip and cool, you're probably not gonna go to like, I don't know, ASOS or Carhartt and try and find like a cool graphic scarf. You probably would just look into getting like a nice black or brown whatever kind of scarf. I mean, it depends on, again, you'll know the person that you're buying for. Really funky with this doesn't just have to be a plain boring gift. This can actually be like a really cool gift that that person will end up using a lot of the time. To get more cool and like kind of graphic ones from ASOS, again, Collusion, Named Collective do some really good beanies, as well as Carhartt. And Urban Outfitters tend to also be really good, but again, just watch out for your budget because Urban Outfitters can take the piss with their pricing. We're almost at the finish line, and number 16 is one that I think a lot of men tend to kind of like forget about, or they don't buy for themselves. And actually this time of year, like after Christmas, it's kind of hard. It's like the next 3 months are going to be really dark and kind of like miserable, cold. You're kind of waiting about for something to happen because you're not waiting for Christmas anymore. So I definitely think some kind of like mental health or like self-care kind of gift ideas are a really good shout. I think that it would be good to get the person that you're buying for like kind of into their skincare and like into looking after themselves. Just any sort of like skincare gifts. It would be really cool maybe getting like a gift set of like multiple things. So instead of just getting like a moisturizer, you could get a little gift set of things like that has like a moisturizer, some like face mask, like a lip balm. Or definitely say to have a look at ASOS. They've got loads of like little skincare, self-care kind of bundles on at the moment. The Ordinary, I know, also does like really good starter kits if the guy that you're buying for has never really like looked into skincare. I'm saying that like these mans are ugly, do you know what I mean? Like just saying that like if you think that they would benefit from maybe having a little routine. I think Look Fantastic and Beauty Bay also have some like men's ones on the side. Just as a general one, Bulldog, I think for skincare, for men's skincare, I think Bulldog is like the go-to like men's skincare brand. Idea to top them up, if you already know that they like use a certain product, they might get fucking loads of it if everyone knows that they use a certain product. But if you already know that they use a certain product every single day, then why not just top up? Like, for example, if they use like a Garnier moisturizer or something, I don't even know if they do moisturizer, but like, we'll just say that they do. But yeah, if you know that they use like some sort of moisturizer from them, just top up their favorite moisturizer. So the next idea would be to get some coffee table books. And now that I'm sat here thinking about it, I would really like a coffee table book as a gift. Covers of them are really artistic most of the time, and they're made to look really cool. It usually will just say like, you know, like it's always the famous like the Chanel books and like the Versace books, but I've seen like Adidas books, I've seen Carhartt books, I've books about like Tokyo and like Japanese fashion, Japanese streetwear. I've seen like cool books on cars. And this, I would definitely recommend looking at End Clothing. They have some really cool like streetwear and like designer bits, but they do have like a lot of cool books like all about streetwear, photography, about certain brands. Okay, so we're almost at the end, we've almost made it, and it's going to be a bit more of a basic one, but we're going to zhuzh it up again like the candle one, and we zhuzhed it up a little bit. So a bottle of alcohol, and then maybe like a cool funky glass. A lot of the dads out there love a bit of whiskey or a bit of brandy, so you could definitely get them like a nice bottle of whiskey or brandy, and then you can get them some really cool like whiskey brandy glasses, TK Maxx or like from Amazon or from somewhere. You could also get like a carafe maybe. Definitely also look into like if they like beer, maybe just getting them like a nice bottle of their beer or wine, and then getting like a cool, you know, like a pint glass from somewhere, you know. I wouldn't say nick it from a pub, but I should suggest checking out Il Gusto online. I know they sell in Selfridges, I think, as well as just like shops. Il Gusto has like really cool shaped bottles and really cool alcohols that you can put in them. They do tend to be quite small, so if you do want a bigger bottle, it can be a little bit more pricier, but again, the bottle is like a keepsake at the end of it, do you know what I mean? So they've got like football boot shaped ones if the guy that you're buying for is into football, car ones, they've got like gun ones, I don't know. They have a really cool selection of alcohols as well. Again, I'm gonna recommend from my Polish self, Polish flavoured vodka is such a good shout. I'm sure where you live has a Polish shop somewhere, but if you do want to pop in and have a look at like the vodka selection, we defo have some good flavoured vodka. So in particular, we have a brand of vodka called Soplita, and it's like really nice flavoured like vodka and vodka liqueurs. There's like a hazelnut flavour and it tastes like Kinder Bueno, and that's really banging. Okay, and lastly, before like the final gift, which is kind of we'll get to it, this one is just like a general, like I kind of did in the last video to round off the list, and it's just like funny themed or cute themed or like just themed gifts that though the person that you're buying for is gonna love. I'm a dog lover, I'm also a cat lover, I'm just an animal lover. If you're gonna get me anything dog, animal, cat themed related, I'm gonna just absolutely eat it up. Mug, it can be a towel, it could be a notebook, it could be like absolutely anything, an art print. Just use the person that you're buying for as like a canvas for the gifts. Or if your person is into, like I said, football, get him like his favourite player as like a print or something like that, or the stadium of his home team as like a print. Him like some cool old, like, I don't know, football badges from like the club. A football shaped, like we said, bottle of vodka or alcohol from that Il Gusto. I say just like silly gifts are always pretty good gifts. Like I know Waterstones has got like really cool like silly kind of gift ideas. So and lastly, again, this one might push the budget a little bit. It just depends what kind of thing you're looking for with this, but it would be like some sort of experience or something cool that you guys can maybe do together. Maybe if it's not even an experience, get some sort of like activity that you can get. I was going to mention rug tufting again, and I went rug tufting and I bought it as a gift for my boyfriend, and it was quite a lot more expensive than this budget, but in terms of the experience, I would pay twice that to do that again. I really suggest looking into something like that. Maybe if you're like going on a holiday or something and he likes football, maybe you can take him on a tour of like a stadium where you're going or something like that. And maybe like if they're a bit more artsy, more creative, you can go like pottery painting. That was it. I hope you guys enjoyed that gift guide, and I hope it was useful at least a little bit for some of you. Definitely make more of these videos. Like I said in the previous video, I would kind of say this is maybe like my favorite thing ever to do. I wish I was like super rich and I could just get everyone like a million presents. Definitely give me a shout if you found some of these useful, and if you didn't, give me some other ideas. I'm always open to more ideas. If you are a guy, give a shout in the comment what you enjoy getting for Christmas, and you can go watch my other video that I did, which was 30+ gifts for her under £40. You can also go and follow my TikTok if you'd like to. If you could give this video a like if it was useful for you, and maybe subscribe, that would be really cool. I have like an upcoming trip in a couple of weeks, hopefully if all goes well. It's not been booked yet, but the holidays are the holidays have been approved. I'm hopefully kind of thinking about vlogging when I'm on that trip, so if you would be interested in seeing like kind of like Europe Christmas kind of trip video, then do let me know, because I'm really wanting to vlog like a little bit of some of the experience at least. So yeah, maybe I'll be able to do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was useful for you. And yeah, again, I was literally gonna say Merry Christmas yet again like I did in the last video. Way too early for that.